What's up, budget builders? My name is Trill, and today we have some breaking news. A new bill was just passed in the House of Representatives, and now that bill is headed to the Senate to see if they can pass it there. Now, some Democrats are skeptical on whether or not they will be able to pass this bill in the Senate, considering Senator Joe Manchin. He is creating another roadblock with pushing this bill through legislation. Also, guys, we have some good news and good information about the COVID cases. It does appear to be slowing down in certain areas. And also, guys, the former President Donald Trump is going after certain politicians. He is calling them gutless. And last but not least, guys, hey, I want to share with you this new poll that kind of paints the picture of what Americans really value the most when it comes to our health as well as our safety, as also with the COVID cases in this country. Now, if you're interested in any of those topics today, be so kind and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you end up liking this video, then go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps out this channel. Now, let's go ahead and jump right back into this video. Okay, guys, real quick, I wanted to ask you for your support and your help on my new YouTube channel that we'll be launching sometime this month. Now, it's called Budget Bill Finance, and I'm going to be talking about how to grow your wealth, as well as how to invest in stocks and how to invest in real estate, as well as showing you guys what I'm doing outside of YouTube. So if you want to be a part of that channel, be so kind and go ahead and subscribe to it. I hope to see you guys there. Now, that link will be down below in the description. The COVID virus cases in the U.S. are now starting to slow down just a bit. This article says new virus cases begin to slow in the U.S. and cities where Omicron had hit first. Now, reports of infections are falling in Cleveland, Newark, and Washington, suggesting that a national peak may be approaching. Another bleak moment of the pandemic in the United States, with nearly 800,000 new cases every day, as well as deaths rising and federal medical teams deploying to overwhelmed hospitals, as well as glints of progress have finally started to emerge in a handful of places that were among the first places to see a surge in the Omicron variant last month, according to the new reports that have just come out. Daily case reports have been falling rapidly around Cleveland, Newark, and Washington, D.C., each of which sustained record-shattering spikes over the past month. There were also early signs in Chicago, as well as New York and Puerto Rico, and hard-hit ski resort towns in Colorado that cases were hitting a plateau or starting to drop. So this is some good news, guys. Hopefully this will start to trickle in other cities and other states as well, because this thing is shutting down everything in sight. And just to tell you guys, yesterday, the school that my kids go to, they announced that they will be shutting down the schools from Friday all the way through Tuesday because of the Omicron variant and the amount of cases that they have seen of all the schools in the school district. So seeing this good news right here that cases are looking to be slowing down a bit in certain places, this is some good news to hear. And speaking of that, there was a new poll that was just released, and this poll was in regards to what Americans really value when it comes to having schools and having our children learn from a remote learning process. Now, this poll is called Americans Value Health and Safety over In-Person Learning. Now, it says that this particular poll was shared to see if schools should move to remote learning to prevent COVID-19 exposure. And as you can see, overall, it is saying that 56% voted in favor of keeping our kids healthy and safe by continuing on with remote learning. Now, this poll was targeted people who make less than $50,000 a year, as well as people making between $50,000 and $99,000 a year, as well as people making over $100,000 per year. And as you can see, also, it tracked their political party, in which the Democratic side or the Republican side. And so we can see, guys, that majority of people who make less than $50,000 a year are saying that they believe that we should move towards remote learning. And on the other side of the spectrum, it says people that make over $100,000 a year are actually saying that we should keep our kids in school no matter what in regards to the COVID-19 exposure. And also, as far as political party goes, it says that majority of people that filled out this poll, 70% of them was a Democrat or related to the Democratic Party, and 37% related to the Republican Party. So again, guys, more than half of Americans say that it's more important to protect the health and safety of our teachers and our students by moving to a remote learning to avoid COVID exposure than to keep schools open for in-person learning. So yeah, guys, this poll is pretty interesting, I must say, because this is the debate going on everywhere you go right now. Because some people believe that we should just keep our kids in school because they need to be in school versus being at home regardless of this COVID-19 virus. But then on the flip side, you have these other people who are like, look, we don't want to get sick. We don't want to die. We don't want to have to continue to wear masks. We don't have to be able to be exposed to getting this virus because our children are having to go to school and then they end up bringing this virus back home. So we would rather our kids just, for the meantime, be able to do some type of remote learning until this virus thing is completely gone or eradicated. But I'm curious to see what you guys think about this, guys. Maybe I'll do a poll on this, but tell me down below in the comment section. Do you think that our school systems need to go to a remote learning right now, especially with the surge in the Omicron variant? Or do you just believe that our kids should still just be able to go to school no matter what? And if they get infected with the COVID-19, then they'll just have to be quarantined and have to stay at home for at least 5 to 10 days. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section, guys. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this as well. Also, guys, the former President Donald Trump, he is now going after certain politicians. It says right here, Trump endorses COVID booster shots, which we all know about that recent interview on TV or Fox News that he stated. And he said that he actually just recently received his COVID booster shot. But he is now calling out politicians who will not reveal whether they have or whether they have not had their booster shot. Yes, the former President Donald Trump gave a full-throttle endorsement of the coronavirus booster shots last Tuesday night and said that politicians who refused to say whether they had received one, he calling them gutless. Yes, after nearly 2 years in which Mr. Trump downplayed the threat of the coronavirus and in which his allies spread misinformation about the vaccines, many of his supporters are resisting to even talk about their initial COVID shots, much less talk about their booster shots. So he is saying that if you are not willing to tell the American people that you did receive a COVID booster shot, then that's just crazy, guys. You are gutless, and you need to be able to reveal this information if you really did get the COVID booster shot or if you actually received the COVID vaccination. Don't just keep it a secret. Let people know whether or not you actually received your COVID vaccination, because the American people are looking towards these people in Congress and these lawmakers on whether or not they believe that the COVID vaccine is actually working. And that makes them determine whether they will be willing to actually get the vaccination shot as well. But these politicians, especially from the Republican side, they are not wanting to reveal this information, but instead they are willing to spread information that the COVID vaccinations are not good and they are not something that everyone should get. But on the flip side, they've actually received it, as well as their family and their children have received this COVID vaccination as well. So that's just what Mr. President Donald Trump is talking about here in this article. He is telling those lawmakers that they need to reveal whether or not they have received their vaccination shot and or they have received their vaccination booster shot. But in other breaking news, guys, hey, yesterday the Supreme Court finally came down with their answer in regards to President Biden's vaccine mandates across the United States. And the Supreme Court has actually blocked that particular vaccine mandate. But they did say they will allow for healthcare worker rule. Now, the Supreme Court on Thursday blocked the Biden administration from enforcing its sweeping vaccine or test requirements for large private companies. But the conservative majority court allowed a vaccine mandate to stand for medical facilities to take Medicare or Medicaid payments. Now, the OSHA mandate required that workers at businesses with 100 people or more get vaccinated or submit a negative COVID test on a weekly basis. But on Thursday, the Supreme Court blocked that Biden administration from enforcing this particular vaccine mandate, as well as the weekly testing, saying that the rulings came 3 days after the Occupational Safety and Health Administration's emergency measure for businesses started to take effect. And it said that although Congress has indisputably given OSHA the power to regulate occupational dangers, it has not given that agency the power to regulate public health more broadly, requiring the vaccination of 84 million Americans selected simply because they work for employees with more than 100 employees certainly falls in the latter category, the court wrote in their statement. So yes, guys, they have officially blocked this vaccine mandate, but President Biden is not happy with this particular ruling from the Supreme Court, and he has gone a little step further. And now President Biden is now telling employers that you need to go ahead and do the right thing after the Supreme Court has actually blocked the vaccine mandate. President Biden is now asking for the states and the employers to do the right thing and to impose its own vaccine requirements, even after the Supreme Court has actually blocked this ruling coming from the federal government. So yes, in a statement, President Biden stated that he said, "I am disappointed that the Supreme Court has chosen to block common sense life-saving requirements for employees at large businesses that were grounded squarely in both science and the law. This emergency standard allowed employers to require vaccinations or to permit workers to refuse to be vaccinated, so long as they were tested once a week and wore a mask while at work, a very modest burden for them." So yes, President Biden is asking for the employers to actually enforce their own vaccine mandates for each individual company. But I'm not sure that these particular companies will actually do that. But we could see the airline industries actually enforce this vaccine mandate because they know and we know that it could shut down their entire operation if they don't have enough pilots, if they don't have enough stewardess to actually run the airlines and the airplanes in the air, as well as people to actually run the entire business. So we could see some of these employees actually push for this vaccine mandate, but for majority of them, we will probably not see this happen at all. Now on to some stimulus update news, guys, because yesterday the House was able to pass a huge bill. Now, as I told you guys on yesterday's video that Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell had actually blocked this particular voting rights bill to actually get a vote in the Senate. But now on Thursday, the House was able to pass a voting rights package, which is going to set up a Senate filibuster showdown. Now, on Thursday, the House was able to pass a voting rights legislation in a way that intended to set up a battle in the Senate over that issue, as well as a filibuster. Now, this particular vote that happened on Thursday ended up passing with a 220 vote to a 203 against the vote. Now, the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has vowed to put the measure to a vote in the coming days before the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday in a bid to highlight state laws approved by GOP-dominated state governments that the Democrats say will make it more difficult for their supporters, including minority voters. So the House has passed this bill, and now this bill is headed on over to the Senate for them to be able to vote on this bill as well and to avoid a filibuster. But I don't know if this is going to happen, guys, because there is another roadblock from preventing this bill to actually get through the Senate. And guess what, guys? Who wouldn't you know? Who is the actual roadblock? Yes, Senator Joe Manchin. Not only is he the roadblock for the Build Back Better Agenda Act, but now he is actually being a roadblock in passing this bill in the Senate. And guess what, guys? He is actually one of the individuals that actually wrote this particular filibuster for this voting rights package. So this is just completely weird, guys. I mean, come on, Senator Joe Manchin. You actually participated in writing this filibuster bill, and then you're going to be the roadblock in preventing it from actually getting signed into legislation. Senator Joe Manchin, you have got to support something this year in 2022. or just get out of the way and let other people do it. But on the flip side, President Biden is really happy that this bill was able to pass in the House, but he knows how challenging it is going to be able to pass in with the filibuster in the Senate. And he came out with a statement on Thursday, and this is what he said, guys. This article is coming from the White House's website, and it says these remarks by President Biden after the meeting with the Senate Democratic caucus. He said that, but one thing for certain, like every other major civil rights bill that came along, if we missed it the first time, we can come back and try it again on the second time. We missed it this time, and we missed it this time. And the state legislative bodies continue to change the law, not as to who can actually vote, but who gets to count the vote. Count the vote, guys. Count the vote. It's about election subversion, not just whether or not people get to vote. Who counts the vote is what really matters, he says. That's what this is all about. That's what makes this so different than anything else we've ever done before. And he said, I don't know that we can actually get this done, guys, but I know one thing. As long as I have a breath in me, as long as I'm in the White House, as long as I'm engaged at all, I'm going to be fighting to change the way these legislatures have moving. Thank you, guys. And this is what he said in regards to this particular bill signed in the House and now moving on over to the Senate, which there is going to be some trouble being able to bring this bill to a vote in the Senate, dealing with the filibuster and all. So, guys, that is what's going on right now in Washington. It is a lot going on. We are going to see more coming out soon, and I'm going to keep you guys posted as usual on all of this information and the updates that we receive going forward. Now, I hope this information was helpful to you today. But anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. Now, if you enjoyed this type of content and you want to see more, hey, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like this video, then go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.